Let's start by loading up the three lower indicators that make up stock chart setup number 2 on this chart for FLWS. Now, when you scroll down below the chart into the chart attributes area, what you see above the indicators area is exactly the same as it is for stock chart setup number 1. The only changes we will make are these three indicators. Make sure all three of them are below, and then set on balance volume, accumulation distribution, and Chaikin money flow, and then click update. And this is what your chart will look like with these three money indicators added. Okay, so this is what setup number 2 looks like with on balance volume, accumulation distribution, and Chaikin money flow. Now I'm going to show you how to use chart setup number 1, get your read of that, and then go ahead and load up setup number 2 and get your read of the money indicators. But over here, now this is what I do. Starting from the beginning, when I look at a chart, okay, the first thing I want to see is what the Bollinger Bands are doing. Okay, remember, anything above the middle Bollinger Band is generally considered bullish. Okay, this was the only bearish area of this entire chart, and then it became bullish again when he got back above the middle Bollinger Band and started pushing the upper Bollinger Band up. Okay, so that's a very nice breakout, another breakout, another breakout. Okay, and then here comes the fall. I look for the CCI. First of all, there was a downtrending line of highs on the CCI even while it was still going up. So that is a bearish divergence. Okay, the sell signal came right there when the CCI crossed down through the plus 100 line. Okay, at the same time almost, stochastics lost support right here and fell through the 80 line, and the MACD crossed down through the signal line, and the histogram crossed down through 0 into negative territory. Okay, so this is what I like to see. My favorite style of trading is waiting for a big fall to become very vertical, very oversold, and to buy in this area right below the lower Bollinger Band, because I know if it breaks below the close of this red candle right here, okay, that it may continue, most likely will continue down. Okay, so that I think this is a pretty safe area to be buying below the lower Bollinger Band because it will bounce, generally speaking, more times than not. Okay, and the buy signals are down here with the CCI dipping below minus 100, forming a bullish double bottom chart pattern and breaking up above minus 100. Stochastics was totally oversold below 20. The fast line crossed up through the slow line and it cleared the 50 line with no problem. There became ascending level of support on both stochastics and the CCI. Very powerful. And at the same time, the MACD also formed a double bottom chart pattern with the second high much higher than the first high. And it broke up through the signal line, up through 0, and then went vertical. Okay, the histogram, the blue bars up ticking through the 0 line, becoming positive above 0 right there. Okay, so that was a very powerful buy signal here. Everything, when you see the support lines on the CCI stochastics and the MACD taking off like that, that is strength. Okay, now let's look at the money indicators, especially on this buy right here. Okay, on balance volume makes an even more vertical move up. Same thing with accumulation distribution, which is breaking out to 6-month highs above all of this resistance in this area. And money flow is from negative through the 0 line, really sharply inclined up. So all of the indicators agree that this was going to be a very nice rally, okay, because it formed a beautiful double bottom chart pattern, okay, shaped like a W with neckline resistance right here, okay, and then it got the volume it needed to break out above that resistance on this big tall white day that closed at the high of the day. Now the next day or the day after was a shooting star candlestick, but it pulled back to the middle Bollinger Band, formed a hammer and bounced hard and ran on good volume. You know, once you get good at this, this is what you're going to be able to do. You're going to be able to see a stock that's forming a bullish chart pattern, riding for the most part above the middle Bollinger Bands. The Bollinger Bands pinch real hard right here, and the first little spike of volume comes in, sends it breaking up above that level of resistance, and then a couple of long upper wicks send it down for 2 days, where it bounces at the middle Bollinger Band and it makes it support. And then this day of volume, which was the biggest in about a month, comes in and sends it breaking out on a tall white candle that closed at the high of the day. Okay, volume kind of slacks off the next 2 or 3 days, but then it picks up dramatically as the stock runs for about 14 or 15 sessions straight up. Now, you know, this is really way too vertical, so there had to be a little correction, and this tall upper wick was the first signal you might have gotten one, especially when that day closed at the low of the day. But the reversal lower wick came the next day, and on even bigger volume, okay, after the big profit taking volume on this day. Remember, tops are always taken with big profits, okay, big volume. All right, and then volume pulls back for 2 days, and then it starts running again for 3 days, increasing volume as it breaks above this old area of resistance, and then it finally tops, pulls back to the middle Bollinger Band. It was only bearish below the middle Bollinger Band for a short time, and then it bounced up off the lower Bollinger Band and kept hitting the upper, finding support at the middle 3 or 4 times before it finally broke out above this level of resistance into blue sky territory on increasing volume. Exactly what you want to see. Now, the CCI buy signal was right here when it crossed up through the plus 100 line. As I said, volume increasing. Stochastics found support at the 50 line, which is bullish, and then had a rising trend line of support. The MACD histogram was negative below zero, crossed up through it. The MACD crossed up through the signal line and stayed above it. And the histogram right here, the blue bars went up all the way to the top. Okay, the sell signal came right here on the CCI, dropping below the plus 100 line. And as you can see, it had a descending level of tops, and that was while the stock was still in an uptrend. So that was early warning that the top was near when you see the CCI highs down ticking in an uptrend. Okay, stochastics breaking below 80 and above this level of support was bearish. There was your MACD crossover down through the signal line. Histogram drops below zero, becomes negative under zero. Okay, then get ready for the next rally. The histogram upticking nicely. There's your crossover right there of the histogram. The MACD is above the signal line right here. Stochastics was having a rising trend line of support. Looked like a ascending triangle. Okay, rising level of support on the CCI. There was the CC buy signal crossing up through the plus 100 line on volume. And again, money indicators look really good on this next breakout to blue sky territory with volume. Okay, after the little oopsie day with the big volume that sent OBV and CMF skyrocketing down, but that was just because it was unusually high volume and the stock closed red that day. Okay, accumulation did not take a hit because it closed that day pretty good, right in the middle of its high-low range for the day, just red, just barely red. Okay, and then accumulation right now is setting 2-month highs. So that's what you'll be able to do by looking at setup 1 and then setup 2. You get the full picture.